Okay, this is Diesel for We the People. We got a little small treat here, and yes, this is a family member. Now, I'm going to be blunt and honest with you. There's been a lot of cut-ins and cut-outs due to the internet connection during this court proceedings. Okay, but it gives you guys a basic idea of what's going on and all that kind of stuff. Alright, to show that we the people can stand on our behalves and not use an attorney. There's a couple of goose up here and there because of the internet connections and all that kind of stuff. You'll see on this right now that there's the judge is right there in the green right now. Okay? So-called judge, alright? Anyway, she, when it's said and done with, when this court proceedings ended and all that, I'll show you another piece of the video here in a minute. But she recused herself. This was out of her league. And so there's going to be another deal going on. Anyway, I may stop and kind of give you an idea of what happened, what was wrong with this deal. But listen to it very carefully. And let's see if I can get this up and going.
Good morning, sir. You were here today without counsel, is that correct?
Yes.
You're having some connectivity issues?
I'm sorry.
Is everyone else having a hard time understanding you, or is it just my side?
Yes. I'm having a hard time.
I'm going to pause for a second. Now, the first thing she said was sir. And if everything was working correctly, he would deny that. Sir is not his name. And he would have denied it if everything went into everything working properly. Do not accept sir. That is not your name. That's just a false name to get you in jurisdiction of some sorts. I don't know exactly how that works, but it's still just not your name. Wink, wink name.
There's some feedback.
Well, it sounds like Charlie Burke's teacher, and it looks like he's frozen. Ms. Carpenter, how long do you need?
Your Honor, and this is a situation where there was drug testing ordered. He got a copy by posting on his door because he won't accept service. He did not take the drug testing. I'm not sure what the court wants to do, if she wants to formally order him to do it.
Excuse me. So at this point right here, right now, the camera is kind of off and all that. They technically are not allowed to proceed forward without him being present, right? Since he is present, this computer thing glitch in the internet happened. They were still not allowed to proceed forward without his acknowledgement. So they should have waited or canceled the court at this particular time.
Today, or if you just want to take it and have the quick 10-minute hearing we usually have over failure to take drug tests.
I did take a drug test. I just didn't go to that one.
Okay, well, I don't accept drug tests from any other lab for many different reasons. But you were ordered to go to that lab.
I was not ordered. The word shall does not mean an order.
Okay. So, are you willing to go to that lab and take a drug test, sir?
Is it an order?
It is an order, yes.
Are you willing to put that order in writing?
Yes, sir. You'll get an order today in writing.
Because, like I said, that other order, shall doesn't even exist in the courtroom anymore, according to that guideline.
Sir, I'm not willing
sexual affairs because I want to know who's got a claim against Iman's property. Plain and simple. No man or woman has stepped forward.
Sir,
And I just want somebody to step forward and say they have a claim.
sir, I just need to know if you're willing to take a drug test today or not.
I've already got a drug test. It's not my fault if y'all don't accept it.
I need you to answer my question. Are you willing to take a drug test?
I need to know who's got
I cannot understand you, Judge. Yeah, I can't either.
So, to give you guys a little idea of what's going on, she's saying drug test and order and all that. Now, they're trying to force him into jurisdiction. Right now, he's not operating in jurisdiction of the courts. So they're trying to bring him into the jurisdiction. All right? So right now, she really doesn't have a whole lot to say. So I'm just going to bring that up. Listen to the rest of this about the drug test.
Sir, I don't know what you're saying because everything you're saying is breaking up. And now I think he's frozen. Sir, I don't know what everything is breaking up.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir, I can hear
Can you
you.
hear me now?
Yes, sir,
Are you there?
Yes, sir, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So back to my question, are you willing to take a drug test at the lab that the court uses exclusively for your case, yes or no?
That depends. I'm not here to contract with y'all. I'm here as a man wanting to know who has a claim on my property. It's plain and simple. Who's got a claim? Bring them forward.
Sir, I'm not going to argue that your child is your property or that your children are your property. And
Where did you get this child from?
Sir, I'm not going to
Child
argue.
only exists on paper.
Sir, I'm not going to argue with you at all today. My question,
On my last video, we talked about child. Child is on paper. It's son and daughter's property. You know, I know it's a strange concept for some of y'all, but it is what it is. A child is a commercial property, right? And they got to use it for the contract. That name child has got to be into the contract because it's not a living thing or a living. All right, I could do a better job in this. I just proceed forward.
I'm going to ask you one more time, is if you are willing today to go to the lab that the court uses to take a drug test, and it's a simple yes or a no.
Are you willing to pay for my time and trouble?
I am the court, sir. I'm not paying for anything for you.
Well, I do compensation for my time.
I don't pay for litigants' time, sir. Okay, Ms. Carpenter, I don't think this is going to happen over Zoom. I'm going to make this, I'm going to have to deem this essential and do this in court. Do you have extraordinary relief
Thank you.
right now?
Where it actually belongs.
We do, Your Honor, and actually.
This part is going to last a little longer. Now, number one, realize he's not going to enter the jurisdiction of the courts. So this is going to be a little bit more out of her league because she cannot get him in the jurisdiction. Number two, if they're ordering you to do a drug test and all that, why can't they pay for it? Especially if you're not in the jurisdiction. The jurisdiction of the courts is a very important thing. Do not enter it. this is a bad example on a court case. I got one further back on my videos. Everything didn't work properly, or it would have been a lot better way of handling this, and you would see a little bit more details. But I just wanted to bring up to give you some type of ideas how to stay out of jurisdiction and stand as a man or a woman. All right.
Thank you. Where it actually belongs.
We do, Your Honor, and actually, we had an issue and we had filed a writ. We got some temporary orders. You wanted us to have another temporary hearing. We'd asked for the drug testing, so there's a lot of issues in front of the court.
Well,
I'm willing to do the drug testing as long as you're willing to compensate for my time.
sir, I'm not paying you for your time.
I established that I have a drug test here. If you do not accept it, that's not on me.
Oh, okay. I'm not going to debate any of this with you, sir. I'm just trying to figure out how we're going to hear your case. So I remember when you came to temporaries, you defaulted Mr. Rowe. However, Mr. Rowe was inside the Ector County Courthouse in person, and even though the instructions were, sir, I just need to get this all on the record, okay?
Yeah.
So I need you to just stop for 1 second, and I will give you the opportunity to speak. But I have not interrupted you, and I'm going to ask that you not interrupt me. I think that that's only proper manners. So, you took a default to temporary hearing. However, Mr. Rowe was present at the courthouse. And while the instructions were clear that the hearings are not happening in person and that you must contact the court.
That never came across me, or I'd have been there.
Sir, I need you to stop interrupting me. I'm just trying to make a record. Zoom will only allow one microphone to talk at a time. So just let me get this out for the purposes of the record. So you took a default. However, I was told by courthouse security, and then a few affidavits were filed on behalf of Mr. Rowe with him stating that he was present at the courthouse ready to proceed, which is why I set aside the default and set this hearing. I will state that I do not believe that this hearing can happen via Zoom today. I think that based on the sovereign nature of the respondent, that we're going to have the hearing in person. And so I can't give you an in-person hearing for a while, though, on a Thursday, unfortunately, because we are booked out into the end of the year. So I'm going to have Ms. Khan send you guys an order that will state the date and time of when you must appear in court for your temporary hearings. If you filed any extraordinary relief, the court will extend it until we get to the hearing time.
And Your Honor, since we have a child at issue, my client currently has the child. Is she allowed to keep that child until such hearing?
I'm going to have you just, whatever extraordinary relief is filed, I'm going to extend.
All right.
Until we get to the in-person hearing. I don't know what else. I don't really know what else that we can do at this point. I know that we can't have this hearing today. Mr. Rowe's internet is cutting in and out, and I think it's going to be pretty complicated to do without having a really good internet from all the parties, unfortunately.
Okay, so everything was still goofed up on this internet connection thing and all that. Any other time he would have talked about this Mr. Rowe. Once again, I think I talked about this a second ago. His name is not Mr. Rowe. Alright? That being said, you got to challenge these things. They still kind of try to figure out how to put yourself in jurisdiction by using false names.
Yes, Your Honor.
About half of what he said today cut out, like he sounded like background when the internet feed cuts out. So I'm not going to be able to hear him or understand him or properly rule on his case. So, Mr. Rowe, you will get a copy of an order in the mail of when you are to present person as I'm deeming this essential.
Okay, that's another thing. Never accept person. You are a man. Alright? You are a woman. You are not a person. Alright? That's trying to force jurisdiction under a corporation. Okay? Proceed forward a little bit longer.
For the subject matter, for your sovereign status, and for your poor internet connection today. So you will receive a court order in which you need to appear in court and do your business in person. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much.
Can I ask something, though?
You may.
She talked about Zach. I am in agreement with Angela if she will agree too. Do we share the responsibility up until the court case?
I'm not sure what that means, but you're going to receive a court order.
Sharing instead of sitting there fighting over who's going to have him and this and that. I'm willing to do 3.5 days. We talked about this before, in 3.5 days. You know.
I'm not going to argue this with you today. I've moved your case to an in-person hearing, which has actually been your request all along. So I'm going to give you an in-person hearing inside my courtroom, not on Zoom. You will get a court order stating when you must be present for your hearing from my court sometime very, very soon. Okay?
Well, if y'all give full custody and tell the court, I'm going to file charges, plain and simple.
I'm not sure who you're going
I'm
to
willing to do half and half, and if y'all don't want to do that, then y'all give her custody until the next court case. I'm filing.
I want you to file whatever it is that you are comfortable with and whatever it is that you think you need to do. I certainly won't stop you from filing anything.
Okay.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much, sir. I'll see you. Oh, what she looks like. I will remind everyone as well that you may not record any part of my proceedings at all electronically, and if you do so, you will be held in contempt of court. The rules here are just like the rules for in-person. You may not record anything, and so I will advise you that any recording of these proceedings could get you a contempt of court charge. Additionally, Ms. Khan, I need you to set these for in-person temporary orders. E20070711FM in the matter of the marriage of Pamela Barrio and Auden Arcides.
Okay. So again, I had to apologize, on this video, but it kind of gives you like a little insight of how you stand up for yourself in the courtrooms. This is not a 10-minute thing. Usually, there's paperwork and this, that, here, and there. However, to recognize that you can do this and you can challenge the jurisdiction of the courts, and he plain out said on record he's not there to contract with them, which is, in a lot of ways is what they call consent also. Consent by the governed. Talked about this on a couple of videos, all right? He's not giving consent of contract. All right? So the judge did the right thing, what we call judge, all right? She recused herself. This was out of her league. So there's going to be another case about this. And we'll see if I get another video. It's going to be in-house. So getting a video that's going to be kind of more complicated. And it shouldn't be. But, it is what it is. I just want to give everyone out there full disclosure. This is just a learning process for everybody who wants to stand up for their rights and understand how certain things can work and how other things can work. I'm not an attorney. What I say on this is just in my opinion, and just to give some insights of what you can do. I'm not responsible for anybody's actions. Everybody's got to do research on their own. And just having to bring that up to cover my butt. But this is decent for we the people. All in all, you know, it was a good video just to kind of touch base on. I did pop in there and say, you know, deny sovereign. Technically, he did not have to deny sovereign. It's just it's gotten such a bad rep from the government officials, brainwashing we the people, because our country is a sovereign country. It's a sovereign state, and we are sovereign people. All right? We are not sovereign citizens. Sovereign citizens is a totally different definition. You know, couple of other sovereigns is a totally different thing, okay? So you got to learn the difference between the words in the sovereign capacity. Till next time, y'all. We'll see you on the next one.